Hey, what's up? It's Jim, and today I'm going to give out some Oscar predictions for the 2012 Oscar ceremony, which is, of course, celebrating the year of 2011. Some of them I do definitely think are going to win these, and some I'm less certain about, and I'll give you, who I think is really down to. Best Animated Film, I'll just start with that because I actually have a correction in my last Oscar video. I claimed that Rango was motion capture. Rango is not motion capture. They just filmed all those people for reference. That was a mistake on my part. I actually think Rango will win Best Animated Feature. I think it's been a lock for a while. The other thing about Best Animated Feature, which is an interesting thing in this category, is two of the nominees, A Cat in Paris and Chico and Rita, are foreign, and this is the first time ever in the Best Animated Feature category that two foreign animated films have been nominated in the same year, which is a big deal. Best Foreign Film, I'm absolutely certain it's going to go to A Separation. I don't really see any of the other films really making much of a dent in there. A Separation's been praised pretty highly. It's the most high profile, and it got a nomination in original screenplay. So I think odds are A Separation will probably win. Best Cinematography, I think a lot of people would predict this going to The Artist. The Artist is going to win big at the Oscars this year. It's going to win a lot of big categories, but a lot of cinematography awards this year have gone to Emmanuel Lubezki. He's a great cinematographer. He did Children of Men. He's one of the few cinematographers that actually worked with the Coen brothers, which is a big deal. A Tree of Life was so well shot. I just feel like he will win. And The Artist really wasn't that well shot, just because it's in black and white. I'm pretty confident it'll be Emmanuel Lubezki for Tree of Life. Then you have Best Editing, Thelma Schumacher, who's won before. She's won a couple of times. She's nominated for Hugo, and she might take it, but I really think Kevin Tent for The Descendants will end up winning because he has won. They actually, the Editors Union or Editors Guild or whatever editors thing there was, did a special night for the editing in The Descendants. I feel like a lot of editors, for some reason, like the editing in The Descendants. I think, really, Hugo is only going to win in technical categories. Best Art Direction, though, I think will go to Hugo. That's something that Hugo did pretty well, regardless of how you feel about Hugo. Best Costume Design, however, I think The Artist will win. Jane Eyre might beat it because costume drama movies seem to always kind of be the surprise winner in this category, but I think people want to give this to The Artist. The Artist is going to win multiple. Best Makeup, it'll probably be Harry Potter, maybe Albert Nobbs. Best Original Score, it'll go to The Artist, which I'm not really happy about. I think for silent movie scores, I think The Artist is rather weak, and the whole using the Vertigo music was not really that interesting to me, but a lot of people who don't really know silent film love the music, and I think that'll give it the edge. This was a much better year for film scores than the Academy is recognizing. Best song is between The Muppets and Rio. The Rio song really is nowhere near as good as the Muppets song, and I think the Muppets song will win. It's unfortunate that they're not performing because I think the Muppets song would have been amazing to see performed. Best Original Screenplay. Of the two screenplay categories is the one that's kind of been a lock for a while, and it's Woody Allen for Midnight in Paris. This would be his third Oscar for Best Screenplay. The Artist kind of might be able to get in there, but I really doubt it. Bridesmaids, Margin Call, and A Separation really should just be happy to be nominated, but it's really between Midnight in Paris and The Artist. I think Midnight in Paris will get the edge because Woody Allen's really known for his screenplay. I don't think Midnight in Paris will win anything else, though. Best Adapted Screenplay is a little more competition. I think The Descendants will win. I do like Alexander Payne. I'm not really that big of a fan of The Descendants, but Jim Rash, who also helped write The Descendants, is actually the dean from Community, so I'd actually like to see him get up there. The Descendants has made the most money off the nominations, really. All the other films nominated haven't really done that well at the box office, but The Descendants has, and I think that's really going to work for it and help it win a few. Hugo might win, maybe, and maybe Tinker Tailor, but it's really, I think, pretty strong that The Descendants will win. Best Visual Effects, you do have some big films in the Best Visual Effects category. You have Harry Potter, you have Hugo, you have Real Steel, you have Transformers, but I really think the big special effects film that everyone was talking about this summer was Rise of the Planet of the Apes. They didn't give a nomination to Andy Serkis for Best Supporting Actor, They really did campaign very hard. They made a big deal to show that they were, they use these motion capture techniques, and there was a lot of special effects and how it worked and everything. They spent a lot of money on that. That's going to work really well for the best visual effects category. And Rise of the Planet of the Apes should win because Caesar as a character was so amazingly done. The best sound categories, which I'm sure nobody but me cares about, I think Hugo will win best sound mixing, just because, you have the train station, you have a lot of noise and ambient noise, background dialogue, and they did give Hugo a lot of nominations. It had the most nominations. Now, sound editing, I think it might also win sound editing as well, but I think Drive might get it just because so many people are upset that Drive didn't get really much of anything, and this is the only thing Drive is nominated for, and the sound in Drive is really amazing that I think Drive might actually win best sound editing, but I think Hugo is favored to win both of the sound categories. Best supporting actress has kind of been a done deal for a while. It's Octavia Spencer is definitely going to win, and they've spent a lot of money on the help DreamWorks has to campaign for it, and I just think it makes sense that Octavia Spencer will win Best Supporting Actress. Best Supporting Actor is just as easy to predict because I think Christopher Plummer for beginners, he's won absolutely everything for Best Supporting Actor before this. He's never won. Christopher Plummer is fun. He's fun to see him get up there. Everyone loves Sound of Music. So Best Actress in a Leading Role. When this race started, it was a lot more contentious. It seemed like you had Glenn Close, Viola Davis, Meryl Streep, and Michelle Williams really vying for the same award. Glenn Close isn't really competition. Same with Michelle Williams. If this was November, I would have said differently, but I don't think she has really a chance anymore at all. It's really between Meryl Streep and Viola Davis. I think Meryl Streep has the edge, but I wouldn't be surprised if Viola Davis would win. This is one of the few categories I think that really could go either way, but I think they'll want to give it to Meryl Streep because who knows how long she's really going to be able to do this kind of Oscar caliber performance. I'm not saying she's not that old that she's like dying or anything, but I think that'll go through people's minds that she hasn't won since Sophie's Choice. She's been nominated more than anyone, but she's also lost to more than anyone in Academy history, I think. Best Actor, I think George Clooney is going to take this. A lot of people want Jean Dujardin to win, but The Artist really didn't take off the way everyone thought it was at this time. I actually thought it would take off and become a big kind of Slumdog Millionaire type of hit, but it didn't happen. And I think that's really going to hurt it in terms of a lot of these categories. Jean Dujardin, he's really the only person besides Clooney who could win this award. I don't think, as much as I like Gary Oldman, Tinker Tailor, I don't think he's going to win. Now, the last two, the big two of the night, which I think are very connected, which is Best Director and Best Picture. Now, Best Director is between two people. You have Michael Havlickas for The Artist and Martin Scorsese for Hugo. As much as I'd love to see Terrence Malick win, that's not going to happen. It's really between those two. The Artist won the DGA award, and usually whoever wins the DGA award wins Best Director at the Oscars. It's very rarely happened where the DGA and the Best Director aren't the same. But I kind of think that Academy members might want to give it to Scorsese just because this is a different kind of film for him. He is the kind of director a lot of people would like to have two Best Director Oscars, and this would really erase them not having given him a Best Director for so long. But Hugo hasn't really stayed in favor as much as everyone thought it would, although everyone's really campaigned hard behind it. I think most likely this will go for The Artist, but Scorsese might steal this, but most likely it'll go to Michael Havlickas, I guess, for The Artist. Best Picture is really easy this year. Even though there are 9 nominees, nobody has as big of a chance as The Artist. I think The Artist is absolutely definitely going to win. I don't really see any other film coming in there and stealing Best Picture away from it. There's not really going to be anyone who's going to walk away with this with a ton of awards. We're not going to have a big sweep. I think that was more of a 90s thing. I don't expect a big sweep this year, but I think The Artist will win the big prize, which is Best Picture. That's my predictions for the Oscars. I'm pretty accurate. I actually won when I was in college. I won both my freshman and my sophomore year, which are the only 2 years I lived in the dorms. I won the dorm I lived in's Oscar competition both years, so I guess I'm pretty good. I don't think I'll be exactly right, and I actually don't like being exactly correct on all these. I like getting some of them wrong because it's no fun when you watch the Oscars and you know exactly who's going to win everything. That's really disappointing from my perspective. So I hope actually I'm wrong just for my sake as a viewer, but most likely I am, and that's fine. Comment below if you have any Oscar predictions, or you think I'm dead wrong, or what you dislike about the Oscars, you have any Oscar facts, and subscribe if you would like to.